This week we're talking about comparing and contrasting. We can compare and contrast one thing and how it changes, like we are going to compare and contrast Clevis from the beginning of the story to the end of the story, or we can compare and contrast two different things. When we compare and contrast, we can use what is called a Venn diagram. It's these two circles, and as you can see, they kind of overlap. This overlapping part right here in the middle is what we can compare, or what we see that are the same, and then the different parts go in these outside circles. So today, when you compare and contrast Clevis from the beginning of the story to the end of the story, you're going to write all the things that stayed the same about Clevis in this little middle part. Then you're going to write all the things that are different. So how is Clevis different at the beginning of the story is going to go here, and how Clevis is different at the end of the story is going to go over here. This is a map, or a way for you to write down your ideas. After we write down all of our ideas in our Venn diagram on what's alike and different, when we write sentences, we can use words to compare and contrast. So when we're comparing, when we're looking at Clevis and how he was the same at the beginning and end, we can use the words alike, both, same, similar, like, in common, also, similarly, in comparison to, or as well as. So if I wanted to use one of these in a sentence, I could say Clevis at the beginning of the story was blank, as well as at the end of the story. And then when we're contrasting and we're writing sentences about how Clevis was different at the beginning of the story and end of the story, we can of course use the word different, or differ, unalike, not alike, different, on the other hand, however, although, even though, in contrast to, while, or but. So at the beginning of the story, Clevis was blank, but at the end of the story, he was blank. Use these words when you're writing your sentences. After you fill in your Venn diagram, you can just draw a Venn diagram on your whiteboard that was in your packet, or a piece of paper to write down your ideas, and then refer back to this chart and use some of these words when you write your sentences for your answers on how Clevis was the same and different from the beginning and end of the story.